you. This is
Well,
idiotic.
we're not going to contest the WA election.
Oh, is that right?
We put out a call for people who might want to contest a seat. Excuse me. And some excellent people put their hand up.
Yeah.
But they weren't okayed because they just weren't ready. They just needed more time. They needed to understand the policies. They needed to get their financial resources. They need to get the people. They needed to really become tough. This is a tough gig. I mean, this isn't like, oh, can I be class president? This is hard.
Yeah.
You have to be willing to commit everything. So we had some great people put their names up, and I hope they put their names up for the next shot. We had some other people that didn't even get close. So unfortunately, WA didn't produce any candidates who are likely to win.
Because what's the criteria? There's three things.
A winning candidate, winnable seat, money in the bank, boots on the ground.
Yeah, because it is a shame to see that. I don't think One Nation's going as hard. They didn't make they didn't get a lot of their funds back from the Queensland election, to be honest. And the strategy up there was disastrous for them. So what do I think is going to happen in Queensland? I think it's going to be McGowan for another few years, and that's unfortunate, but it's reality. What do you do?
Well, people will just keep taking the pain until they've had enough.
It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating.
No, that's the political process. Yeah. That is the political process.
Because people are like, oh, this is happening. This is bad. And it's like, you can't complain if you're not doing anything. You just can't. A lot of people in Queensland, they were complaining about the outcome, and it's like, guys, what were you doing to help or hinder the outcome that happened? What were you doing? And it's in many cases, it's like, I was sharing, I was this, I was that. It's like, are you a member of a political party? Are you supporting people that are putting their names up? And it's like, no. And it's like, well, what do you want me to do? I can't help you. I don't want you to. Don't send me messages if you're frustrated at the system and the people we elect. And I think I said this quote in the past from the Bible. I can't remember the quote exactly. Maybe my brother can correct me. We elect the leaders that we deserve. We really do. If we are a corrupt society, if we've completely lost our moral core, then we're probably going to elect those people, the people that represent us. Why do you think America elected Donald Trump? Like it, as reprehensible.
Can I just jump in really quickly?
Yeah, sure.
Don't take your eyes off Trump.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying.
Okay, good. Okay, for the viewers then, just watch this space.
There was a time when America elected leaders that were very well-rounded, like Ronald Reagan, and who were very witty, very, very, very intelligent, but they weren't off-putting. So a lot of Americans find Trump off-putting. Now, I don't care about that. I don't care that Trump's off-putting. I don't care that he tweets things from time to time, because I look at substance. I look at policies. I compare, for example, his policies on China versus China Joe, and how China Joe is approaching China and doing a terrible job there. And I see Trump's way better. I see the Middle East deals that he's been doing, and I see that, in 2020, in the last year, they haven't had a single death in Afghanistan, which is the first time in 20 years. That's Trump's fault. He did that. He deserves the credit. And so I'm willing to, for a time, say the statesman-like behavior can be put on hold, because we've had statesmen, and what do? They put suppression orders on the pedophile lists in Australia. That's what we get.
Well, Trump was the first non-controlled president in years, including Reagan. Now, Reagan said some great stuff. His words are utterly inspiring, and I don't deny that he was sincere, but he was as controlled as everybody else. The national debt under Reagan went, I think, from 1 trillion to 3 trillion. You can check it out. But he was as controlled as everybody else. Yeah. Because he was still controlled by the establishment.
Yeah, Republican Party. He was a big push for opening up China, which didn't end up being successful in making it more democratic.
Once again, he was following orders. So loved Reagan's words, brilliant, inspiring. But understand this: Trump is the first president since a long time that wasn't controlled. Yeah, and you can go back a century. Yeah, Woodrow Wilson, utterly controlled by the globalists. Yeah. I tell you what, Australians. Study US history, because if you study US history and the characters and the ebb and flow of events, you will understand what is happening in Australia better, because Australian political history is a yawn. But we are wearing the effects of what's happening globally in this country, and we don't get it. If you just study Australian history, study American political history from the Revolutionary War all the way through, and you'll understand better what's happening in Oz.
Yeah, it's coming, guys. It's all coming. And one of the things I want to talk about is how the establishment in Australia have really been going after MP Craig Kelly, who's the member for Hughes. Now, this is an interaction he had with Tanya Plibersek. And
Baby Killer. Baby Killer Plibersek.
Is that what you call? Is that her nickname?
Oh, she's Emily's Lister with Penny Wong.
Oh, is that right?
Full-term abortion on demand, Australia-wide, publicly funded. Tanya Plibersek.
Not a
Baby
fan.
Killer, Tanya Plibersek.
Would you say that she's from the more radical side of the Labor side or the more conservative side of the Labor side?
I think she's a loathsome gastropod.
Okay, so she's got her own dimension.
No, they all are. No, it's like saying which Nazi killer do you think is better than the other?
Yeah.
They are genuinely loathsome individuals.
Okay. Well, a bit of background on Tanya. So in the wake of the 2019 disaster for Labor in getting their ass handed to them from Scott Morrison, there was a lot of questions around who should be the leader of the party. Now, Tanya's name was floated.
Yeah, I remember that.
But no one wants this position in the wake of a defeat like what they had. So what did they end up doing? They ended up pitting Albanese versus, what was his name, Chris Bowen. And Chris Bowen, he was doing terrible in his own seat, so they're lucky they didn't elect him. But Albanese has been in, and he's sort of been towing the line, and it's been interesting to see what's been going on there. But Tanya, be under no illusion, she will be the leader in the near future, I believe.
Oh, looking forward to that.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
You know what? You know why that's funny?
You got your attacks ready.
I heard a great quote the other day. The Israelites saw, what was it? They saw Goliath and saw they couldn't defeat him. David saw Goliath and saw he couldn't miss. So if Tanya becomes the leader of the Labor Party, please make Tanya or Penny Wong, either way, make them leader.
Yeah.
Please do.
Because it's such a big target. And that's how I feel about when Kamala Harris got elected. I was like, please do. Please do.
No, this is going to be fun.
I've done only a percentage of the attacks I have on that woman. I've got a folder of the progressive attacks and the folder for the conservative attacks. I'm ready to go. Let's do it. And so 4 years of this is I've done my homework, and I look forward to learning more. But this is an exchange that happened between Craig Kelly and Tanya Plibersek.
Hang on, isn't Tanya Plibersek's husband the former drug importer who spent a custodial sentence for importing drugs and later, obviously because he's such a talented individual, had nothing to do with political favouritism, became Secretary of the Department of Education in New South Wales. Now, how does a convicted drug dealer become Secretary of the Department of Education, Tanya? Now, I'm not suggesting Tanya pulled any strings because that would be wrong. I think her husband obviously is just a talented public servant.
I think our rehabilitation system
and he was appointed by a Liberal government too. So if you're wondering there's any difference between Liberal and Labor Party, please disabuse yourself of that notion.
Isn't that funny?
They do each other favours.
Isn't that funny?
And even what was it? That hero of the Liberal Party, Tony Abbott, the man that let everybody down.
Tony.
He appointed, what was that blonde airhead from the Democrats? What was her name? Married a billionaire. That's it. She's left an indelible blank on my memory. She was famous for wandering up and down the hallways of Parliament House in her Doc Marten boots because she had the maturity of a prepubescent girl. He appointed her to some position, completely unnecessary, but that's how they do deals. You know, I'll look after your people when I get in, you look after me and my people when I get in.
It's a big club and you ain't in it.
I love it.
Isn't it, guys?
It's a big club and you ain't in it.
By the way, I did try looking for a video of George Carlin not swearing to no avail.
Yeah, you can't do it.
But look, let's get to the video.
Roll tape.
For Tanya, we haven't even started. And she
deserves it.
We've got so much material.
No. This is the same individual who mandated Gardasil.
Yeah.
So she wanted boys to be injected with Gardasil to prevent women getting cervical cancer. So she's using your sons as a mean of protecting somebody else. Now, hang on a minute. This is against any level of political freedom. Yeah. She talks about herd immunity like we're a bunch of goats in the yard, and that's what she and her mates in the Labor Party think we are.
Yeah.
But Tanya, we know what you are.
Yeah.
We know it. And guess what? You're going to be found out.
Yeah.
Go on.
For those of you that can't see, we're just looking at a freezed frame.
Oh, and Gardasil, by the way, kills people too, by the way.
Who's that? What?
Gardasil, the vaccine.
Oh, okay.
Gardasil kills.
Yeah.
And she wanted to mandate injecting boys with Gardasil to help girls not get cervical cancer.
Isn't that crazy?
How much does she hate men?
Jesus. See, guys, what you can't see right now is we've got a freezed frame of Craig Kelly walking up the hall on the back of her head, and so we've been triggered that much.
That's it.
So All right.